Get some music going. Hello. Hey, what's going on? Did I hear about the DMCA thing on Twitch? I don't care. I heard something about it. Alright, I think I'm streaming on Mixer too. Let's see what happens here. Oh, they're getting, yeah, alright. Streaming on all of it. Shit. Alright, yeah, I'll get started in just a second, sorry. I got all these new things going on with the setup, so it's taking me a little bit. Don't worry about if they bring 3 strikes out for a deal if companies make claims on your VODs. No, that doesn't happen. I already looked everything up. Zoom out, my brother. Well, I didn't... oh yeah, I do have to zoom out on this a little bit. I have to zoom out on the canvas. I guess that's alright. Let's do Goblin Electromancer. Alright. Hey Kirk, what's going on, my dude? Alright. I'm all set up on all of them. Man, I got one person on Mixer. There we go. We. Can I show how I ended up with the Goblin? Yeah. That one, I didn't tighten up the edges or anything. But I'm gonna start this one a little bit looser. I think I'm gonna sketch in and be loose. This reference is all Victor Adaim Minguez. This one I actually don't remember the artist, but you can look it up. It's Goblin Electromancer. Just doing just doing cards that are from my deck. And I think I'm going to do some figure painting as well after, or portrait painting. What song is this? This is Ooh La La by the new from the new Run the Jewels album. What's going on? Super cool. Just paint. Well, I'm gonna just paint. You just paint. There we go again with that that typical YouTube attitude that we love so much. Yeah, we're doing some Magic the Gathering studies. Does Kim Jong-gi paint as well? I think he paints a little bit, not too much though, from what I can tell. I teach you a lot, man. Oh, that's great to hear. Glad I could teach you. Glad I could be of some help. No, I didn't write the text because I actually don't know the name of this artist. Just look up the card. It'll have the artist's name there. How do you take such a long sitting and be able to maintain patience during such hectic studies? I don't know. I like streaming. It helps for me. Had to abandon the Carl Kopinski stream. You could watch both. Scale this down a little bit. There we go. Svetlin. Here, I'll write that down. Thanks for Googling it. Lots of respect. I find it difficult to draw or paint when people are watching. Yeah, it can be tough sometimes, but you just get more and more comfortable with it. The VODs are for people that subscribe on Patreon or Twitch, and I guess eventually Mixer. I don't think anybody cares about Mixer though. Sorry to anybody that's watching on Mixer. I don't care about Mixer. I just threw it on there. How fast can I draw? Not fast. I draw nice and slow, because I don't see there being any point to drawing really fast. Rather take my time, get things set up nicely. First time listening to RTJ4? No, I actually listened to it 2 days ago, but I'm a big fan of it. Alright, now I have no idea how to paint these like electrical things, which is part of why I chose it. Oh, you're listening to rap, I think. I certainly am. I'm listening to Run the Jewels. I don't just listen to metal. I know I listen to a lot of it, but how to color it. Oh, we'll do that in a second. We're gonna start out with all loose, soft edges. Also, Jeremy, if you're watching, I'll have you hop in just a little bit. I'm gonna finish this one up. Oh, thank you. Would I say RTJ4 is better than their previous albums? I think I like it. I think I like it the best so far. to be honest. Plans for new YouTube videos. There is a plan to do one this month. I gotta figure out what's going on with the sponsors, but once that's figured out, it'll be coming up soon. What else do you listen to personally? I love rap, but different type of rap. I listen to all sorts of stuff. Mostly metal, obviously. So I'm gonna paint in, not worrying too much about the edges, just getting the values, colors in. I just use pre-made brushes. I don't really feel like there's a need to make your own brushes. You could though if you wanted to. It's pretty easy to do. Which band's lyrics do you think are genius? I think Run the Jewels is pretty up there in the genius territory of lyrics. Thoughts on the PS5? I dig the futuristic look. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. The only thing I saw was the design, and I saw the new Ratchet and Clank looking thing, or the new Ratchet and Clank playthrough. It looked awesome. Yeah, I like teaching. I feel like I learn a lot. Plus, it's nice to help people figure out what they want to do. It's not my long-term plan, but it's a good way to progress. How do you stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time? I just figured that out myself. It's a program called Restream. So I stream to another platform called Restream, and then Restream sends it out to everybody. Let's add some reds in here. Do I paint in the same layer as the lines? No, I usually start by painting underneath the lines, and then I'll merge it in just a little bit. So once I get the colors kind of in, then I just merge everything together. Shadows are super, super deep. I try a bunch of different approaches to painting. This is one of them where I start with like pretty loose edges and just try to get the colors and values in. And I use the lines as a guide. Another one, I'll show you a different approach after, where we're gonna start with kind of masses. We'll try a couple things today. Avoiding muddiness, you gotta know where you're trying to go. So like you have to pay attention to shapes. it's kind of difficult. Do I have a fixed streaming schedule? I think after this week I'm setting it up. It's going to be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Next video is going to be about mechs. Have you ever experienced sacrificing friendship for the sake of art craft? Yeah, sort of. Miyu, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Don't get jelly just because you want to be my friend. Do I play mono red? I have no idea what that is, so I'm gonna go with a resounding no. Do you still do your podcast? No, I haven't been doing them. I might do some soon. Soon-ish. It's not as exciting right now, especially with COVID, because I can't have people here, really. I don't really like doing it over the internet. Any tips to keep motivated? I'd say you just got to remember that, like, keep your long-term goal in mind. Don't let like small defeats slow you down at all, right? You're always, you know, I always think of it as like, let's all just kind of suck together and just be okay with it. Just be okay with the fact that you're not great, and just keep getting better. How the studies going? Well, I just started, and so far I don't think so well, but I don't want to just give up on it just yet. How do I choose which artist I want to study? Well, I literally went through my Magic the Gathering deck and picked cards. You know, it's the same thing as, that's like a kind of question that's like, what kind of music should I listen to? You know, it's like whatever you feel like it. If I like it, I'm gonna take a look at how they, or try to figure out what they're doing. You know? That's really all there is to it. If you like it, you like it. Do you think beginners should do this type of studies to learn about composition? I think it's a good idea. I did it when I was younger. Not super young, but yeah, the real cards are very small. There is a website where you can search the archives. I also sometimes just go on ArtStation and just look up Magic the Gathering, and people will post their work from it. Hey, thanks, Valerie. Where's the coffee? It's right here. Don't worry, I got it. Can you study someone's work and post your study in Instagram? I wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, it's not the biggest of deals as long as you explain what it is. I don't think they'll be upset. But like I just did that. I did a Michael Koos study, and I was thinking about posting it, but I decided not to. I decided it was a bad idea. I don't think I want to finish this one. How's the coffee? It's great. It's always great. Let's go back to, I was doing portraits yesterday, so I want to do that. I'm gonna try a couple different methods. Don't judge me for not finishing. Oh, now my computer froze. Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, there we go. We're back. I think. Shit. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to restart this, I think. Okay, let's just save everything, whatever. Jeez. Okay, sorry about this. Come on back, Photoshop. Should artist force himself to study object in forms, or is it just mileage? Well, I think it's a good idea to understand how forms work, and then eventually get comfortable with it, and then you don't have. Then you can kind of think just in shape. All right, we're coming back. Here we can scroll through the archive of this file, which just has a ton of stuff on it. Here's my creatures, which get me banned from YouTube. All right, we're back. Is it important that you have quality coffee and enough dose of caffeine? Yeah, I get headaches if I don't have enough caffeine, so. So sometimes I'll do this too, like have another artist next to what I'm drawing or what I'm painting, so I have an idea of like the kind of brushwork and just like a quality thing. Can I say some mean stuff to you so you finally get up and steady? Just don't be a bitch, get up and steady. What the hell are you waiting for? I hate to say it, but coffee is really bad for your sleep. I'm aware of that. But if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, I think you'll be okay. I'm just gonna do a really quick drawing. I'm not even really gonna spend too much time drawing. We're gonna paint over this stuff anyway. Was there a moment when I wanted to become a professional artist? While I was in med school, and I basically was spending every night just doing 3D modeling. And then, yeah, I got really sick, and then I was home for 2 weeks. And then basically because I missed 2 weeks, I was pretty much gonna fail that section of the semester. Because it goes, they have it in like sections the way they set it up. Which one I thought was total bullshit. I was like, that's kind of crazy. And at that point I was just doing so much art on the side that I was like, fuck it, I might as well just commit to this and might as well just do something that I like doing. Do you think your dream of working at Magic the Gathering is too far? No, no. I don't think so. I just gotta keep working at it. I feel like by next year. I did do these paintings over on the side. Thanks, Khalil. Let's get something loose first. Why not make clean line work? Because I'm just trying to mess up the, like, I'm going to paint away the line, so it doesn't really make all that much sense to invest a lot of time in the line work. Also, with painting, there's something nice about not starting with a ton of clean line work. It gets too tight. Also, why is my... There we go. Let's get actually something more... Yeah, there we go. Would I say wearing a cap indoors helped with wrist dexterity? No. I just like to wear a hat. So this approach is more like how you would do it traditionally. Also why I didn't start out with, that's kind of why I didn't start out with such a tight line work. If you ever watch traditional oil painters, they kind of sculpt their shapes as they go. They don't start out with their finalized shapes. And I think there's actually a benefit to that. Longest break I've taken from art, well, I mean, when I was in college, I didn't draw at all. So that was like from high school to college, or high school and college, it's like 4 years. Which skills do I see intermediate artists failing at the most? It seems like most of them actually are fine with perspective, but then don't think about shapes. I know that's kind of where I was at. Let me move this. There's a big layer on my screen. There we go. Do I think about form when drawing the shape? Not entirely. I feel like I've gotten myself to a point where when I draw a shape, I can just imagine the form, so I don't have to like get too concerned about perspective. So I can kind of focus on. Somebody asked if I'm focusing on shape design. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Form is three-dimensional, shape is two-dimensional. But you can, I'm gonna do a whole thing on how you can kind of use placement of shapes to see perspective. Yeah, and then if you apply light to your shapes, you're kind of adding 3 dimension to them. I did say Jeremy was going to come on the stream. I actually got a, he was supposed to hop in. All right. Nobody wants to hear from you, Will. All right, we're going to some Deftones. Yeah, I use the smudge tool to kind of blend out some of those edges. Have I ever thought of showing the color wheel? No, it doesn't, it's not going to help you really. Not to like be annoying about it. It's not really going to help because one, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll help, but I don't see that as something that's going to benefit you. It's more about seeing in value and then applying temperature shifts to the values. So it's not about the explicit color I'm doing. You just joined. What are we doing? I'm doing some figure, or I guess portrait paintings. I was going to do some master studies, but I decided I'm going to warm up with figures. I keep saying figures, but I mean portraits. Do I have any color-related tutorials on my channel? I don't think so. There will be at some point. And my boy Jeremy's going to hop in the call here. You guys can hear that phone ringing. Hello? I don't hear him. Hold on. Okay. Jeremy, can you hear me? I can't hear him. That's why you figure this stuff out before streams.
Through my
Oh, now I hear you.
VR headset before.
There we go. What's going on, man?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing some paintings. You want to talk about what the hell's going on with your artwork?
You know, I've been just angrily learning 3D.
Awesome. Yeah,
It's,
it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once it starts to come together, I'm sure it'll be nicer. But right now, it's just a lot of like clicking through menus and you know.
Are you
watching
working in
videos.
Blender?
And now I am. So I actually there's an artist I know who like he's professional now, but he actually went to the same college as me. He dropped out and started working before he graduated. And so I've been like bugging him a ton because he's real good at like Blender and stuff. And the past couple of days I've been messaging him. He's been really helpful. And because at first I was like, all right, screw Blender. I'm not doing Blender. I hate like the poly modeling. You know, it's like you try to cut a hole in something, and there's all these lines all over, and I probably sound like an idiot because I'm not. There's probably people that are way better at this.
Everybody's thinking
like,
you sound like an idiot right now. Actually, that's what's happening. I just received a bunch of texts in the chat that said, "Wow, this Jeremy guy's an idiot." No, I'm kidding, obviously.
But you know, there's people that just seem they're so good at poly modeling and doing that kind of thing, and it's so foreign to me. So I got real into 3D code for a couple weeks, watching Jama's videos, and I was like, I'm just gonna do 3D code. And I've been messing with like different renderer programs. And then I was messaging Tyler yesterday, a guy who went to my school, and he was like, just go with Blender, and kind of convinced me. So
Have you tried Vaughn Ling's settings for Blender? By any chance?
No.
They're awesome. I would definitely suggest it.
Yeah, I was gonna look into that. I thought
It's completely
do you think I
different.
should so you think I should just put those on immediately, or should I learn it regular first?
No, you should put it on immediately because it's like it completely changes. It completely changes the way the whole program works. Because I was learning it normally, and then I put, because I'm in his class right now, I put on the settings, and I was like, oh, this is just a different program now. And so all that like polygon modeling kind of just goes away.
Oh, because I hate that part. You know, right now I've got a bunch of models that like I made a few soldier guys in Daz, following one of the 1-pixel brush tutorials from Gumroad, and then I made some little creatures with one of Chama's thing in 3D code, and then I made a helicopter in 3D code. So I'm just gonna try and make like a real basic like soldiers shooting some monsters kind of scene, you know.
Cool.
And so there's no modeling actually being done in Blender for it. It was just gonna be, I'm just gonna light it, you know, and composite everything together. And so, you know, even that's hard enough. But once I get that done, I'd like to get better at poly modeling. And if Vaughn's thing helps fix that, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Seemed like kind of a game changer. Again, I'm not focusing on it too much just because I'm trying to focus on my painting right now, but from what I could tell, I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, that sounds really good because it was not intuitive when I was doing it.
Yeah.
I tried to follow Blender Guru's Anvil tutorial, and it was the most stressful thing. I hated it. And it's like, it's just a stupid anvil, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, the early stages are always going to be the of anything are always going to be the most annoying.
Yeah.
I'm still, in my brain, I'm just like, I'm going to do whatever I can to not have to really use this too much.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, it's weird. There's people who, there's so many options. It can be overwhelming.
yeah.
You know, as far as the different stuff people do. You know, you've got artists like Ahmed who just don't even, you know, hardly use any 3D. Just is really good at painting and drawing.
That's kind of where I want to get. I'm like, I don't want to have to think about 3D. Just because it feels like it doesn't feel natural anymore, and for whatever reason, my brain needs that to be the case. if I'm working and it doesn't feel organic, I get upset. My body's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I get the same feeling sometimes, but I think also it's crippling with me. Something that I do is like start doing one thing and then you start to doubt and you're like, maybe this I'm just not cut out for this thing.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? And then I've just decided I'm just gonna stick with it and you know, just do this thing. Like you kind of just gotta pick one and just go with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's true of any of this stuff. It's like if you start jumping around a lot, you're gonna not waste your time, but I feel like you're kind of spreading yourself a little too thin.
Yeah, and I'm sure like if you're already like if you've got the time, you know, there's people who, you know, maybe they're already so good at painting that they don't feel like they need to work on it that much, and they just like dabble in other stuff. But if you really are trying to improve something, yeah.
I feel like I'm fortunate that I have plenty of time, but I do want to just like, yeah, because again, I'm kind of going back to traditional painting as well. I just want to figure that out. I want to do like those, like we were talking about those Magic the Gathering guys that just do everything in oils.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, I want to try to get to that realm.
Yeah, like that stuff. I guess it definitely tends to fall more into illustration. Probably.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards.
Yeah. But yeah, those Magic card guys. That the other guy, Jesper Icing. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, of course, he's amazing.
Oh my God, they're like all acrylic.
Yeah, no, he's the bomb.
What is this?
Yeah, no, that dude's the best. Somebody in the chat asks, "What's your favorite fuzzy drink?" I don't know if you have a stance on fuzzy drinks.
Does it mean fizzy?
Fizzy, yeah, I don't know why they said fuzzy drink, because a fuzzy drink sounds like it'd be pretty disgusting, actually.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. That sounds like moldy.
Yeah, there you go. Moldy orange juice is my favorite fuzzy drink.
Moldy Gatorade. No. I'm
Oh,
gonna go
God.
with, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper? That's a good choice. I'm gonna go crazy and say fucking. You ever have a Shirley Temple?
No, I haven't.
Oh shit.
I don't even know what it is, honestly. I've heard it, you know.
It's like a pretend cocktail for children, and my girlfriend just got one the other day, and I totally forgot they existed. It's basically just 7-Up, or not 7-Up. It's like Sprite or something with cherry in it. There's nothing really crazy about it.
I'll have to try one of those. It actually sounds pretty good. Cherry anything is good.
Yeah. You might get made fun of if you go to a bar and order that though.
Yeah, I mean, nothing here's open anyway. Not that I go to.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Everybody's in quarantine, so.
Yeah, it's stuff. Well, you're in New York, right?
Yeah, but we're getting better now. We're like on the way out of quarantine.
Dude, are your gyms open yet?
No, I set up a whole thing in my apartment.
Yeah,
it's Swole Patrol inside here.
Yeah, Michigan's. They just opened the playground by here, so I went and did some pull-ups. Me and my fiance went and did pull-ups.
Nice.
I did pull. She did like one, but you know.
Now you're making fun of her?
No, I mean. But I was so out of shape. It was terrible.
Well, now it's time to get back into shape.
Yeah, because I don't even have any like. You know, like there's those pull-up bars that go on door frames and stuff, but.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm using right now.
Do they work well? I always see videos of people falling, so.
Mine's been fine. I haven't had any issues with it. I mean, my door frame looks like it got brutalized, but it's doing all right.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to do pull-ups, so doing them finally was terrible. I felt like I was gonna pass out.
Yeah, my buddy actually lives right across the street from a playground, so he's been doing that same thing, like the prison style workouts. where
yeah, I mean, it beats being in the apartment.
Yeah, definitely. Are you guys on lockdown for a while? I don't know if they have like any set date or something.
I don't know. They keep changing it. Honestly, I don't think anybody knows what they're doing. They're just changing shit.
No, nobody does know what they're doing. It's true. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Yeah.
It's like I was saying to my one friend, at the start of all this, it was like, all right, so it doesn't spread virally. Don't worry about masks, and all this other stuff. And it's just every single thing that was at the beginning is now totally different. Now it's like, okay, it doesn't spread on surfaces. You should always wear a mask.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's asymptomatic people, but now there might be asymptomatic people again, and it's just
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
everybody's just guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly the case. At this point, I'm just like, fuck it. One of my friends is a statistician, and he was showing me the some of the curves from different countries, and it doesn't seem like the social distancing really did anything. I mean, based on what he was telling me, I could be totally wrong, but
Yeah, I heard that too.
at this point, I'm ready to just break rules. I don't care. I'm like, fuck it. I want to go out and do stuff and go outside.
I'd like to, but everything's still closed anyway. So
Oh yeah. We have this new thing in New York City. I say a new thing as if it's like some crazy invention, but they now you can like kind of go to bars where they serve drinks at the window and like you can sit outside. And it used to be illegal to like walk around with alcohol, but now you can actually just walk around with it.
Yeah.
So it's a nice new little addition. That's the
Yeah,
one
at
positive
least,
thing that's happened in all of this.
yeah, at least it's something.
Yeah. We can feel my alcohol addiction a little bit more now. That's the positives.
Apparently, drive-throughs are kind of doing better now too. So
Oh yeah.
kind of cool.
I don't know if you want to talk about your work prospects. I don't know if that's something that's supposed to be under wraps.
I mean, I don't know how much I should say. I'm hoping. I still haven't gotten anything official, so
Yeah, let's just say it's going well though. I'm really happy for you, man. It's really
I hope so. I hope I didn't jinx it by getting too excited.
No, it's okay. Even if you did get too excited, I'm saying it's still like a really awesome start, you know?
Yeah, it's a good sign, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like getting any sort of interaction from studios and whatnot is great.
Yeah,
So I'm proud of you.
I'm really hoping to not go back to school this fall.
No, you don't need school. You're fine. School is they're just trying to take your money.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
I think the programs, like the degrees, are a lot of crap. Like honestly, if anybody was going to art school, I wouldn't get a degree probably. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if you want to teach, then you do have to have a degree. If you ever want to like teach part time, but I've already got a bachelor's because I was a science teacher, So,
Yeah.
but like I just took the relevant classes, so I didn't feel like a lot of people that I've talked to that have dropped out or are still in school, they kind of are bitter about it. They're like, oh, so many of the classes were just a waste of time or whatever. But I always just picked
And chose what you
picked whatever
needed.
classes, yeah. And
Yeah.
So I didn't really have too many bad classes or bad experiences with anything, and I was part time for a lot of it. So
Yeah, I feel like art is such a weird thing to teach at a university. I've always been like kind of against, not what you're doing because that's very focused studies, but like I remember when I was going to school, I was considering going to school for music, and I was like, why am I gonna do that?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can kind of just figure it out on my own.
The other thing is too, like so many colleges will have these programs or stuff like that. Like you could go to my old school, which was Bowling Green, and you can major in music there, and it's just like a state school,
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe they have a great music program. If anybody is in the Bowling Green music program, I'm sorry.
I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah. But I don't know how. Like at BG, you could major in film, and BG's like a Northwest Ohio, rural kind of area. What are you gonna do with the film degree from there? And I'm sure some people managed to go and work on like small time commercials and stuff out of there, or did something. But for the most part, all these schools, they offer stuff, and it's just kind of they throw something together.
Yeah, I think part of it is a lot of fear-based stuff. Like obviously the best thing you could do if you're trying to learn to do something like filmmaking is literally just go out and try to make a film and then see what the hell happens.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that's part of the whole like education thing that they don't really talk about, which is like you actually just have to do the thing.
Or at least, honestly, just go to a good school too. Because one thing I can say about school that has helped a ton is, like, I researched schools. I could have gone to the Cleveland Institute Bar over by where my parents live, and I could have just stayed with my parents and saved a bunch of money on rent. But it's not that great of a school.
Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of schools where I could have gone to major in art, but I was doing research, and it was like Art Center or CCS really. And after looking into CCS, like Tim Flattery's there, and I've gotten some really good connections from being at school.
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
got me. I got to work on a movie that had like an A-list celebrity in it during spring break this past.
Yeah, that's
spring.
crazy.
And yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that if I was at a school like BG.
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
on my own. There's no way I wouldn't have got that connection.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of the big pros there of that.
Yeah. And even this job that I just interviewed for, and the interview seemed like it went well. I mean, like I said, hopefully I get it, but the owners of the studio, they're some of Tim's old students. So when I emailed, I was like, hey, I'm one of Tim's students, like, blah, blah, and I think that probably helped make a connection there, too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people are, they're like that, where if it's somebody they know or related to somebody they know, they're more inclined to give opportunities that way.
So that's definitely one thing, but at the same time, you can network with people online, like, I have a bunch of Learn Squared classes, and in the one of the students, because like in Learn Squared, you can, in their classes, for people who haven't done it, you can listen to crits that the instructor gives to other people. And one of the students, Jama Durababe, apparently is friends with, and they became friends just from, I forget, like the kid just messaged him or something, and was like, hey, you want to play some game that they both played together, StarCraft or something, I forget.
I hope it was StarCraft.
Yeah. But so people make connections like that with people like Jama, and then you start to grow like a network there too.
So that's what that's what I keep telling people. They just got to make personal connections and be friendly.
Yeah. Or like Ahmed grew up 5 minutes from my house, it turns
Oh,
out.
you don't want to be friends with him, though.
Yeah, probably not.
No, you don't want to be friends with him. No, I'm kidding. He's great. Yeah, his class must have been actually awesome, even though I just made fun of him.
Yeah, no, his class was really good. So I had him for Design Process 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a guy named Sean Hargreaves, or it's either Hargreaves or Hargraves. I don't know why I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I just call him Sean. For Design Process 2. And Ahmed's teaching style, he's like laid back, very encouraging. Like I had a bad week one time, and I was just talking to him, and he was like, dude, I feel the same way sometimes. He showed me something he was working on that was going terribly, and he was like, you just kind of got to keep going, like, don't get too down. It's a very uplifting class.
Yeah.
And Sean's class, not that it was bad, but Sean's class was like the opposite. It's like, it was like drill, like, drill sergeant, like, it was just the opposite of it, which was good in its own way.
Yeah, I kind of don't, like, I think early on maybe you have to be that way, but then you kind of got to get out of, like, the whole drill sergeant kind of mentality with art, I feel like, because isn't the whole point is, like, to bring something new and unique to the table, and I feel like if you're in a constant state of anxiety that you can't really do that.
And that's how I started to feel.
Yeah.
Looking back, I had moments in that class where I hated it.
Yeah.
And I was so over it. But I don't know, when I think about it, I did take a lot out of it. But I do think having that mentality, like the Feng Zhu mentality, where it's like, hey guys, how many hours a week do you work? At
Don't
some
eat.
point, I would rather just not track it and then end up doing a lot just from the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Then some of these people, and I used to do it too, where you try to sleep as little as possible, and I guess that works if you're just grinding out practice stuff, but not if you're trying to come up with
I think the issue there is also, though, like, if you actually learn a lot by sleeping. There's no evidence that you get better by not sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, it has the opposite effect. Like, you're better off getting a good night's sleep, and I don't know. I just think that shit's crazy.
That's what I think too. You know, and there's a real weird phenomenon at art school, which you probably haven't run into this because you didn't go to art school. But
Nope.
I'm telling you, everybody at art school, well, not everybody, but a lot of people at art school, there's like this competition to talk about who sleeps the least. And
Oh, no.
Who pulled the most all-nighters, and I've always hated it. And you know, you'll have people that are like, oh, I've gone 3 days. I went 3 days last night. It's like, why is nobody sleeping? What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like something to be proud of. It's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that helps.
You end up falling into this thing too where, you know, people are cramming for like a deadline for school, and they fall in the cycle where they won't sleep for like 1 to 3 days or something.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if anybody says they haven't slept for 3 days. I'm skeptical. That's like,
Yeah, here, I'll tell you why that's stupid. Because part of the satisfaction there is treating art as though it's like just schoolwork, which means like, oh, I'm just being hyper productive, which is like, okay, cool, but at the core of what you're doing when you're drawing, painting, etc., is expression. So if your expression is, I'm a totally stressed out person that doesn't like to sleep, then then you're not being artistic.
yeah.
Like
You know, there's
like it's
there
concept
might
it's
be-
concept art. It's not concept I don't know, schoolwork.
Yeah, and it does. It starts to feel too much like this meaningless schoolwork, and then you don't really absorb it, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe doing that for a little bit might help you in the future if you end up having a really nasty deadline and you just have to grind through it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Doing it for long periods of time, I don't agree with. And a lot of these people, like I said, they fall into this cycle where they would have been better off just sleeping maybe 6 or 7 hours a night instead of sleeping for 12 to 15 hours and then not sleeping for 2 days.
Yeah. I've done that before, that sort of mentality, and I don't think it helps. That's kind of why I'm talking about it. And I get a lot of people asking about that, like, all the time. I feel like that's kind of the most common thing is like, oh, how many hours are you doing this? Are you spending enough? Like, just, it's about consistency. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Who are you in a race against? Think of it as an art form, which is like, yeah, you have to put in a lot of work, but I don't think anybody was like, yeah, Anders Zorn, he was the best at not sleeping. Like, nobody gives a fuck about his not sleeping habits.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a weird thing to think about, like what makes certain people.
I think there's just this focus on speed because of concept art, which is built on tight deadlines. But like, if you're not working for a bunch of clients, then it doesn't matter. Take as much time as you need to study something,
Yeah.
you know?
And I guess maybe why some people might ask is because they're not doing enough. I mean, obviously it's all a balancing act. You know, you don't want to go too far in that direction, but then you also don't want to be one of those people that they're just not doing anything.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well,
making
yeah,
excuses,
obviously.
You know,
You're not gonna get anywhere if you do that, but
and nobody really has an answer for you when it comes to that. Like, you kind of just gotta figure that out on your own, you know.
yeah, that's fair. I know for me, I just I stopped eating, I stopped sleeping. It's been basically 4 days in a row that I haven't slept.
You know, the most hardcore concept artists, they actually get a feeding tube. So,
You ever see that episode of South Park where they're playing World of Warcraft?
yeah.
Yeah, you know how he's got the shit bucket?
That is the perfect. Okay, well, not the shit bucket.
That's what Jama does. He's got his shit bucket.
That's the perfect example, though, of how it should be. Because I used to play WoW in like middle school and early high school, and you just get crazy hours going, and the hours would just melt away. And you're not sitting there like, oh, I played WoW for this long, and did this much of it. you're just playing it because you enjoy it, and you just end up getting like
Sucked into it.
6,000 hours over the period of however
Holy
many
shit.
years. Yeah, I had like 300 something days played in WoW,
Damn.
but it was just fun. You're just sitting there playing it, and that's kind of how you want art to start to happen.
Yeah, I found that the more fun I have with it, you just got to treat it like it's fun and then not treat it like it's work.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I learned guitar, obviously I did it much younger, so I wasn't really thinking about, there wasn't any concept of like, oh, this is going to be a job, so I have to get good really fast. And with that, I really enjoyed the process of like learning the fundamentals, like scales and, getting my dexterity up and all that stuff, like music theory. Like it became more fun than it was a stressor. So I think,
And
yeah, sorry.
that might be part of why it is easier to learn stuff when you're younger. And
Yeah,
why
maybe
some
that
peop-
is why.
I think some people learn better in general just from having confidence and not getting stuck up on things.
Yeah.
The people that this is just observational, but I feel like the people that learn the fastest just kind of have like faith in the process.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question related to this, which was, how did you get it back to being fun if you were taking it too seriously? That actually was kind of in large part for me due to talking to Ahmed, who kind of like told me, hey, you got to like just enjoy this thing and you got to loosen up. So I would just, to like draw from imagination, I would just start scribbling stuff, even if it was messy and gross and looked terrible. I kind of took away the expectation that, oh, this has to be good. And then once I got rid of the expectation that I had to be good, then it was fun again. I was like, oh, whatever. And
I think
yeah, sorry.
like the same Ahmed too. Just talking to him, it really, because that's the kind of attitude he has.
Yeah. And that's the attitude that you should have, because it makes you focus on art rather than like, it makes it more focused on art than it is career focused. And it's just more fun generally.
Yeah, I think definitely that's and it's the kind of thing too. I think naturally over time, if you're just
Yeah.
doing that grindy kind of thing, eventually you're gonna get tired of it, and you're just gonna have no option.
Yeah. And if you are somebody that's learning the fundamentals, then like break it up where you're doing perspective, and then I don't know, you just at the end of the day you just make some stupid doodles and just see what the hell happens.
Another thing that I've noticed just from people messaging me, like I think I maybe fell into this too, especially before school. I think one of the biggest things that school does is it paces you and it prevents you from getting stuck on things. And there's people that they like with perspective, they will get hyper fixated on getting into perspective.
Oh, yeah.
And they just spend months and months and months. And it's like, if you want to be this hyper specialized, there's people that's what they do. They just are hyper specialized on that thing, but it's very few. If you want to be the next, I don't know, Scott Robertson, I guess, but he does other stuff, so that's not really even a fair comparison.
Yeah.
But if you're spending like a year just doing ballpoint perspective drawings and you want to be a concept artist, you should probably not do anything for more than like 2 months, because there's so many different skills you have to learn.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm definitely guilty of that.
But you're kind of an example of one of those few exceptions where you just got crazy good at line drawing, and that helped you start your entire career.
That's true. I got lucky though, I think, in hindsight.
I mean, it's hard to say. Who knows? But
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know if everybody should try and do that. I mean, if you
No.
really want to do that, then do it. But if you just want to be a general concept artist, most concept artists, you got to have a bunch of different skills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely don't think people should just do what I do. I think everybody's art journey is very specific to them.
Yeah.
I just know how I am, which is like, I have to get like obsessed with one thing at a time.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. But I try now to like obsess with one or two things. I find like 2 things.
Okay.
It's typically good, but I guess right now I'm kind of just doing for like 2 or 3 months at a time. and then move on to something else. And then if you move on to something else, do that for, 2 or 3 months, and then come back to the thing you were doing before. Sometimes like doing something else, it helps remove sticking points, and you come back to it and you have some
Yeah.
new confidence or new perspective or just fresh eyes on the whole topic, and then all of a sudden you make improvements at it. Whereas if you just bash your head against the wall just doing one
Yeah.
thing for like 8 months straight, I feel like you don't learn as fast.
That's true. That's true. I've had that happen. Yeah, I've definitely had that happen where I'm like trying to do stuff and I get way too focused on one or just stubborn about it, and then I'm beating my head against the wall, and then I try something different, and then immediately it clicks. The thing that I've like,
Yeah.
art is very non-linear that way when you're learning, where it's just like you're going at it, and then like the moment you stop trying, then all of a sudden it kind of clicks.
Yeah, and it's also interconnected too.
Yeah. One of the things that I found has been the best part as I've gotten more confident in all this is that it's gotten easier. Like sometimes I'll do less stuff that's easier than when I first started drawing, and it looks better. So a good example is like if I'm doing a vehicle, like just an obvious example is like blocking out the tires or something in cast shadows, or like using lighting to completely block out one side. Not only does it look better and it's like more graphic, but then it's easier to draw. So I think
Yeah.
I think the better you get, you kind of learn more tricks like that, where it's like the drawing process isn't as difficult and it's easier to do.
With drawing especially, there's this weird just feeling that you get with it, where if you're really keeping up on it and doing it consistently, you get these like instincts with it,
Mm-hmm.
and if you stop doing it, you kind of lose that. It definitely gets like rusty,
Yeah, I agree with that.
which I don't draw very much at all anymore.
Gotta
the
keep that
last time I did
sketchbook, bro.
Dude, the last time I did a line drawing,
Uh-oh.
I don't do line drawing that much anymore. I do, little digital painting sketches every now and again to warm up or stay fresh on that. And then a lot of it's just 3D and practicing different programs and photo bashing and painting. But
you
I don't know,
you focus on what you gotta focus on.
yeah, and the line drawing does come back. Like, I don't know, a couple months ago I did some line drawing and it didn't go terribly. So like it's still there, but I never want to like just straight up draw something from scratch anymore.
Yeah.
Usually, you make like some kind of at least rough thing to get the perspective, and then just draw over top of that, and it's just so much quicker. And, like I feel like I have less patience now for that stuff.
Yeah, no, that
than
makes
a
sense.
year
That
or
makes
two ago.
sense. I'm trying to think how I feel. I obviously still just enjoy drawing all the time. I think it's kind of my bread and butter, but definitely want to focus more on bringing everything to like a painted finish. I think for me, one of my like long-term goals would be doing a lot of sci-fi like mech illustrations, but all like I don't know. I always debate on what sort of thing I want to do long-term. That's kind of the issue. I never know.
That's how everybody is, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I like JAMA so much. I guess there's a whole spectrum of what people do. So you have people like Evan Edmondson. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but
Evan Munson, I think he pronounces it.
that guy. So
Yeah, that's kind of the route I'm thinking for myself.
yeah, and so or Ahmed is another good example of something like this, where it's just really, really good painting and drawing, just crazy good, and really good ability to draw from imagination too. And then you have people who are in between that, well, so that's one end, and then the other end is like JAMA, where JAMA is like really good in a bunch of different software, really good at digital sculpting, but then he also is really, really good at painting. He's good at drawing, probably not as good as like Evan is at drawing, because he doesn't do it as much, but he's still
Yeah.
really good at drawing. So you have people like,
It's a different finish also. Like it depends on the style that you're going for. Like you can clearly see the difference between the styles of their work. Like if you want to, especially if you want to work in movies, I don't think somebody like Ahmed or Evan would be a good choice.
yeah, unless it's like BizDev,
Yeah.
like animated movies.
Yeah. but like people like Nick Jindro and stuff who worked on Mandalorian, um, like you're not gonna get that by sketching in your sketchbook in pencil. It's like a very different thing.
Yeah. But it's still, you know, something to keep up on.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I was almost thinking this morning. I'm sitting there and like, you know, what if I didn't spend all the time I spent learning to oil paint and acrylic paint and this with all these different mediums and what if I, instead of doing all that, I just spent all this time in Blender?
Oh shit.
You know, like where would I be right now?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, that's part of the whole. That's part of the whole thing, though. You kind of have to. I think the best thing to do is just keep thinking of what your end goal is and keep doing whatever steps it takes towards that. Imagine it as like a tech tree. If you're trying to be like a fucking fire mage or some shit, but you keep putting stat points into water, it's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
You like that very dumb video game RPG analogy? Always a good way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very good analogy, honestly, as corny as it is.
All right, I think I'm ready to move on to another painting. So I started streaming. I don't know why I felt like telling you this, but I'm streaming on multiple platforms now, which is crazy. I got Mixer going, I got Twitch and YouTube all simultaneously.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy shit.
Do people use Mixer? Like, is there a lot of
I got
on there?
I have one viewer on Mixer. I'm a celebrity on Mixer.
Yeah, that's I don't know. You know, maybe you never know what's gonna take off, but what they have Ninja on there probably still, right?
Yeah, they do. He's signed into a contract.
Dude, you know what I'm kind of annoyed with?
What?
Did you see Joe Rogan signed a contract with Spotify?
Yeah, I did see that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for like $100 million.
Yeah.
But now, and apparently all the old episodes are going to get deleted off of.
Oh,
YouTube
really?
I think the first year, all new episodes will go up on Spotify, and then after that year, all of the old episodes get deleted off of YouTube.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, think about how many views those all have.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But I think at that point for him, it doesn't. What does it matter, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
I wonder if Spotify will like take off as a competitor.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
I think it's a weird thing for Spotify to do, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to do. I guess they're trying to get into the video game, you know. Somebody says, doesn't Twitch not allow multiple platform streaming? Maybe. Tell them to come at me. Tell them to come at me.
Is that guy fed?
Yeah. What are you, a Fed? What are you, a narc? You trying to be a narc?
Cop?
Yeah. I'm kidding. I'm joking around. A lot of viewers over here. Somebody says that's always good. We got lots of viewers today. That's always nice. How are you viewers doing today?
How are my viewers?
Well, I'm asking my viewers how they're doing today.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
How are your viewers doing? I feel like your viewers are just my viewers.
I guess so.
They keep asking about you, so.
Hey, I'm glad they haven't forgotten about me.
No, they're interested. A lot of people keep asking. Everybody keeps asking when the follow-up Gumroad to the epic original drawing Gumroads.
I'd like to make one on like an intro to painting. So a lot of people might not be interested, but
I doubt that.
in the future, some kind of intro to painting, because the way that I was taught to paint at CCS, I had so much trouble learning to paint. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing to learn how to do. You know, I just felt like you're juggling so many things, and drawing was already hard enough.
Yeah.
But the way a couple teachers like Francis Vallejo at CCS and Eric Olson especially, they're so good at the way that they structured everything. It just made so much sense and made learning to paint, like, the problem was it needed to be broken off into chunks, you know?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to have like simple steps that okay, well, I can do this little simple thing, and it's nothing crazy to look at, but it's a nice start. And then you build on that slowly, and then it makes learning to be so much more fun.
Yeah, I think
So
also with painting traditionally, it's like at first there's that whole process of getting comfortable with the medium, like, because I know when I started, I was like, what the fuck is any of this?
yeah, yeah. Well, especially with digital. I mean, with traditional, not digital. With, I think there's a couple things with digital though, because most people they don't want to go out to the art store and buy, paints and do that whole thing, especially
Yeah.
if you're learning on your own. But I think I've been thinking of like different ways of how digital was actually kind of harder to learn than traditional, and why that is.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people think traditional is harder, but I think traditional is probably easier. And I think it's because it's a lot more restrictive in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
I just try to apply the
Photoshop-
same restrictions, kind of.
yeah,
like
so
limited
I
palettes
have
and stuff.
I have some exercises that I used to do and ideas and stuff like that that really help simplify digital painting, because there's like Photoshop just has way too many options and it's overwhelming, and you just end up messing with it and you just get this muck. Whatever.
Yeah. Make a freaking video. What are you doing?
I will.
The
So
audience-
I'm gonna wait at least until the new apartment, because my setup here is super cramped. I'm gonna have my own
Yeah.
little studio room at the new apartment.
Well, the audience demands it. They've been begging.
I'll make one. It's definitely in the works. Starting with a painting one. I don't know what I'll do after that. But I think a painting one would be fun. I
Yeah.
also just want to do some painting. It's fun.
Yeah, man. It'd be cool to see some videos on painting over 3D also.
Yeah. I've been. It's weird. I'm like hit or miss on that. Sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't. I'm still trying to get better at consistently doing that well. But
Yeah.
I think I'm not consistent enough at it, just because I haven't worked with 3D enough.
Yeah. Khalil says Jeremy has so much knowledge to share and it's just holding out for years. See?
I don't know about years, but
He's-
it'll be soon.
He's been holding out.
I've been feeling too like I need to. This one guy, I found him on Instagram. I just started following him, and he's been posting these really nice like sketch studies.
Mm-hmm.
But he does like a sketch, paints over it, and then does some photo bashing over it.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's making me want to brush up on my photo bashing, because I've been spending so much time, like I said, clicking through stupid menus of 3D programs that I feel like everything's probably getting rusty. Like my photo bashing's probably rusty, and I need to get back to that too.
It's all difficult.
Yeah, I just can't wait for all of these menus and stuff within. I think I'm gonna stick with Blender and 3D Code almost entirely, and
Cool.
I can't wait until those are second nature feeling, and I don't have to go and find like tutorials every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Dude, yesterday I found this guy's channel. He sounds like he's like 13. I'm not kidding. It's MEA Bros. And
Okay.
there's one video on how to make water. He's only got 200 subscribers. But he had a video on how to make water in Blender, and I was like, honestly, this is. At first I was like, why am I listening to a little kid tell me how to do this? And it's not organized or clean the way he's done it, but it grew on me, and I actually really liked the tutorial because I think it's because he's a kid. Like, he's not overcomplicating it or assuming anything. I was just like, you know what? I made the water. It looks good. That was nice.
Well, it better be good. You just shit on him. You just shit on his subscriber count. That wasn't very nice of you at all, man.
No, I subscribed to him.
Yeah, there you go. You're helping him out. What was his name again? MEA Bros, did you say?
Yeah. I haven't watched his other videos, but his water tutorial, it was great. I made this
There we go.
water. Last night I was doing it, and I was just like, oh my god, it worked.
Then people should subscribe to him over on YouTube. I'll take a look at it after.
Like 50 subscribers, and be like,
Hell yeah.
what happened?
My one of my students had something like that happen. He's got a 3D modeling, a couple of 3D modeling tutorials on YouTube. I don't remember what the name of his channel is, so now I'm a bad person. But he goes by Stu on my Discord server, and he's got all these 3D modeling tutorials on making hands and meshes like Pixar. It's good stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's really good at it, and he all of a sudden just started getting like tens of thousands of views after like it's been up for a year, and then all of a sudden it kind of just started getting views.
Yeah. The algorithm's so weird.
Yeah, super weird. Sometimes that happens. Like that's what happened with my becoming a Gi video. It was up for months, and then all of a sudden it just kind of popped off randomly for whatever reason.
Yeah. You know, every once in a while you'll see one of James Gurney's videos will just go viral.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, you know, his channel, I remember when I subscribed to it, it had like, I don't know, I think less than 100K. But every once in a while he'll upload something and it just makes it to trending and gets like millions of views.
Oh yeah, that's because it's
normies,
great.
You know, like
Yeah.
I see it, I see all of his videos. I'm like, oh, James Gurney, it's James Gurney, you know. But normies see it and they're just like, oh my God, how is this guy doing this? And then it gets millions of views.
Yeah, no, he's the best though. He deserves it.
Oh yeah, I mean James Gurney's probably one of the best living plein air painters.
He's also just extremely funny, which is my favorite part about him. Just
Yeah.
he reminds me. I have a friend that's he looks exactly like him and it acts exactly like him, and I feel like I know him because of that. But he never
He's,
responded to my emails, so he doesn't know me. His blog is amazing.
Apparently,
Yeah, it is. Sorry, what's up?
Apparently James Gurney used to be friends with Thomas Kincaid.
I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't. I'm sorry.
He does. I believe he died like a long time ago. But your grandma probably knows who Thomas Kincaid is.
Oh shit.
Because I think all grandmas know who Thomas Kincaid is.
Oh, okay.
He does like the religious like paintings where there's like flowers on like a little cottage or something, and extremely popular
Oh, okay,
for a
okay.
while. He went very mainstream, and a lot of old people have his paintings like Prince, you know, in their
Gotcha.
house. My grandma has several Thomas Kincaid paintings.
Well, the joke's on you because I don't talk to my grandma, so. Joke's on you, Jeremy.
Dang.
Yeah. Thomas Kincaid. I definitely know the name, but I just don't know I don't know what the paintings look like.
I mean, they're super cheesy. But
But they're just in every grandma's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
So
Are you? Oh, sorry.
How is Vaughn's class?
Well, it would be better if I was a better student. I'm an awful student because I forgot that the class was yesterday, so I didn't show up. I was streaming during the class. I was like, oh shit. I'm also trying to do, you know, I'm obviously like doing my own stuff, so I'm just a terrible student in general. So I have to teach myself. I don't know why I'm that way.
Yeah.
I've just always been that way.
Is Tommy in there? His name's Tommy Triu. I don't know if I say his last
I
name right.
think so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We only had 2 sessions so far, and I missed the second one. So
He might not be in yours. I don't know. Or maybe he finished it. I don't know. Tommy's either in it or just finished the Blender course. I should message him and ask how that went for him too. But I took John's mentorship with him.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, how was I know you said John's mentorship was awesome.
Yeah, it's really it was one of those like turning points definitely where it opened up a lot of different, I don't know, avenues and like ways of thinking about things. It was kind of I just worked with photo bashing. It was really just an intro to photo bashing
Gotcha.
for me. But you know, that leads to so many different things, and now I'm trying to pick up 3D, and you know, I think John kind of advises people not to do so much 3D. Like I emailed him. I haven't emailed him in a while, but he I think he tends to tell his students to like focus on photo bashing and line drawing for longer, but I just really wanted to get into 3D.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's everybody's got their own like specific way of working, and he's got his way of doing it
Yeah.
that works for him. You know.
Yeah, but now I'm thinking, you know, I should go back to some of that stuff. Now would be a good time because I have been pushing in another direction, and so maybe do a couple more weeks of 3D, and then back off of it for a month and like get back into some photo bashing stuff, just focusing on that. And I might find, like I was saying earlier, you know, when I go cycle back to that stuff, all of a sudden some other things click.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you never know.
And then combine that with 3D, and you know.
And then you'll be working on more Tom Cruise movies. I meant you'll be working on more stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't say
Hopefully.
anything. Yeah, I didn't say anything. What have you been doing besides drawing? Or besides art?
I mean, lately that's been it, because there's nothing to do here, you know? You know,
Yeah.
trying to work out occasionally. Oh, actually, I have been messing with some VR games.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, my friend from high school sold me his Oculus for $60. So
That's fucking
and
awesome.
those things used, they still go for like 400.
Yeah, man.
So that was awesome. He said he just wasn't using it. And I played Super Hot.
Yeah, that game is so good.
Yeah, that was really fun. And I've been playing through Budget Cuts a little bit here and there.
I don't know that
That's a little
game.
stressful. It's like a stealth game. You're in an office and you like throw knives at robots.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like everything you need in a video game.
Yeah, you know, it is. It does check a lot of boxes.
All right. I think I'm gonna get going, my friend.
All right.
I need to eat some lunch. I'm probably gonna end the stream in just a little bit. Any final words for the humans of the internet?
You know, I should have something, but I don't.
Awesome. That's we can write that down for a quote. I should have something, but I don't. Jeremy Hunter 2020.
I'll come more prepared next time.
All right, awesome.
All right, it was good catching up with you.
Yeah, man. It's always good to chat with you, man. I'll talk to you later. Keep up the good work. Keep on kicking ass, and keep on doing 3D. Don't listen to John, even though we love him.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye. All right, that was my boy Jeremy. He's really good. You guys should check out his stuff. I don't know what his I think it's Art of Jeremy Hunter. I'm just gonna finish up this last sketch or this last painting, and then I'm gonna go get some lunch. But streaming for 3 days a week is it's been a lot, so I'm actually pretty tired. It's a lot of streaming. I didn't make my Photoshop brushes. I just downloaded them. I don't remember where they're from. Yeah, I guess I'll just finish this one up. Remember to subscribe on Mixer so you guys can add to my one viewer. I don't know if anybody uses Mixer. There's nothing on my ArtStation yet. I'm gonna do a bunch of paintings and then upload them. But you could follow me there if you wanted. There's just nothing there. Be sure to follow on Mixer. All these social medias, it's crazy. Have I ever made brushes on my own for fun? Yeah, I've done that. I don't always care to do that just because I don't think it makes that big of a difference. I don't know. What's Mixer? Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's like pretend Twitch or something. Yeah, Mixer is Microsoft's Twitch, basically. Alright, yeah, I don't feel like finishing this one. I'll do it another time. But we did a little bit of painting. Can I show the curly hair? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean the brush, or what do you mean? You asked that earlier, but I wasn't sure what you meant. In which case, I actually don't know what brush it is. Hey, I'm glad that it helps. Any tips on tackling over blending? I think when you start doing that, find solid shapes. So like, here, wait, hold on. Whenever you start over blending stuff, group things into solid shapes. Thanks for the clavicle compliments. Curly hair texture, not how to draw. Wait, how to draw, not the brush. I mean, I just treat it like a circle or like a sphere. It's just sphere, and then you just do this, and then I just shade the shadow side, but then there's like a texture on it. There's nothing crazy. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you guys on something. When am I going to see you guys? I guess Tuesday I'll see you. I sometimes worry about capturing likeness. Yeah, I mean there's some concern to likeness. But yeah, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all that other stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right in the afternoon. All right, take care, everybody. I'll figure out how the hell to get out of here now. Let's see. How do I end this? I got everything's new, so I don't know how to. Oh.